Hello viewers, welcome to the third part of my video on Cisco Identity Services Engine implementation. So during this video session, I'm going to take you through how to implement authentication using .1x. So, and this is topology we are going to be considering. It's a Windows 7 domain PC, Windows 7 non-domain PC that are both connected to the switch, which is going to be the network access device. And this switch has connection to the Identity Service Engine, which I have installed on my VM workstation. So fine. That being said, so I'll come back to ISE. And during the last session we had, I've integrated ISE to the Active Directory. So let's confirm that. Well, it's still operational, it's connected, it's domain controller. So, and I pulled group, okay, administrators, domain users. So right now I'll come to policy sets. I want to create a policy set. And let me give it a name. Okay, let me leave a new policy set. I can't think of any name. I'm going to close it. So on what condition should we use our policy sets? Can save is .1x. If it's wired to the 1x. And okay, before I do that, let me add my network device. I'll come to administration. Okay, administration network device group. Let me do the group. Let me create some group here. I can say, let me say HQ switch. And the parent group is going to be, okay, before I do that, let me create switch. Let me just create switch, and the parent group is going to be all device types. We'll say okay. I can create another one and say HQ switch, and the parent group is going to be this. I'm going to click on save. Now to network device. I'm going to click on add. So the IP address is going to be 192.168.20.201. That's the IP address of the switch I'm going to be using. Show IP interface brief. Okay, so this is the IP address. Oh, okay, the IP address should be here. Sorry about that. And I'm going to name it. I'll just say HQ switch. So let me even name my switch. I didn't name it, but it doesn't matter. But there's no harm in doing that. Host name HQ switch. That's fine. And I'm going to scroll down location. I'll leave the location the way it is. I've not created any group regarding that, but here I have created group name switch, and I have another HQ switch. So I'm going to click that. For radius authentication, I'm going to use Cisco. So let me click on show. That's it. I'm going to leave the rest at default. The COV port 1700, that's change of authorization, that's fine. Like I said, I'll leave the rest at default and I'll click on submit. Now I've added my network access device, which is the switch to ISE. So the switch needs to be hard to ISE so that ISE can respond to the radius authentication coming from the switch. So I'll go back to policy sets. I'm going to click on add new, okay, new policy sets. I'm going to click on this plus sign and I can say, okay, if it is wired 802.1x, I'll drag it. I'll drop it and I can say, and if it's wired 802.1x, Oh, sorry about that. Which was the 1x, and we'll click on this. Can say network or dictionary switch device. I can see device type. Okay, fine. If device type equals HQ switch, so that means I'm specifically configuring that policy set for any switches that is added to this group, HQ switch. And you can choose device type, you can specify device IP address, depending on how you want it. It's a very flexible thing. If you remember, while I was configuring my network access device, I added it to, how do I do this? Network device, okay. Open a new tab. Okay, that's going to take a while. So after doing that, I'm going to, the allow protocol is going to be default network access. So that's done. Yep, this is it. If you remember, while I was adding it, I specified device type. That added it to the group HQ switch. So, and that was the group I also referenced here. So any endpoint that is running .1x and that is coming from this particular device, whatever device that is added to this group, is going to hit this policy set. So, and the allow protocol is going to be the default. So that's done. I'm going to click on, okay, let me just name this. Let me say .1x. .1x. And I'm going to click on save. That's done. I'm going to click on this arrow to expand it. And now authentication policy. Authentication rule. Let me just name it .1x. And I'm going to add this. And I can save it is okay. I can see visualize the 1x. I may not use it again. Can use it. Because the policy we are running it running while it is the 1x, you can't eat this policy set in the first place. So user is going to use, is going to use Techwise AD. That's my Active Directory, the Active Directory which I integrated to ISE. So if it's running it was a 1x, authenticate the user using Techwise AD. Option, we are going to leave all this at default. So, but for this one, I'm going to say deny, use deny. So if the user is running it to the 1x, use Techwise Active Directory to authenticate the user. But if not, if the user does not, if the endpoint does not meet this required condition, then it is the default, which is in access. So I'll go to authorization policy, configure simple authorization rule. Let me just name it .1x, and I can say, okay, see, let me see admin access. So I can say, okay, admin access. Let me click on add attributes and identity group name. That is not what I want to use. Network. Okay, where's, as you see, Techwise CD. Yeah, this is my domain controller which I integrated to ISE. Techwise CD, you can confirm it from here. Administration, external identity source. I didn't make any changes, so I'll just click OK. You can see this is the name Techwise_AD. This is the name of my Active Directory on ISE. So that's what I can see. And I'll click on external. If these are the people I want to use, external group. If the external group equals administrator, so anybody that is, if the login name for that person belongs to this group of administrators, so the person will use this policy. So that will be fine. And I'm going to say, okay, that's it. So profile, I'm just going to say permit access, and that'll be all. And I'm going to click on save. So if you want, you can still add several other conditions to this. You may not want it to be this alone. can add, but there's no need adding wired 802.1x again, because if you are not only wired 802.1x, you can't hit this policy set .1x in the first place. I already have that here. But there are several other conditions you can also attach to this. Can be this and whichever way you want it. So we're going to leave this at that. So I think on ISE I'm done. So let me go to my switch. Do show run AAA. I don't think I have any. Okay, new model. So right now I'm going to configure my AAA server. Reduce server. I'm going to name it ISE. Address IPv4. That'll be 192.168.20.198. 198. So there is the address of my ISE server. Authentication port is going to be 1812, and accounting port is going to be 1813 as a default. So key is going to be Cisco. If you remember, while I was configuring my network access device, the key I use is Cisco. We'll click on this network access device. If you look here, yeah, my radius here, the key I specify is Cisco. So my key is going to be Cisco. That's that. I'm going to say a group. Although you need this A group should in case maybe if you have more than one radio server configured. So, but if you don't have more than one, if you just have just one single radio server, which in my case I have single radio server, I will not use AA group. But if you have like more than one in a distributed deployment, where you have more than one PSN, so and you have to configure everything here on this switch, maybe like 2, 3, 4 PSNs, you can also have a group. So it's going to be a group server radius. I'm going to name it ISE also. And I'm going to say server name. So my server name is going to be this, my radius server. I'm just going to say ISE. Yep. Server name should be ISE. Okay, that's fine. So the next thing I'm going to do a authentication. .1 next, that's for .1 next authentication. Default group. Now let me show you something. Group, you can just use radius. That's if you don't have a group server configured. If you select radius, just going to use this, which is radius. But in my case, I have a group server configured. I'll say group radius, AA, authorization, network, default group, ISE, AAA, accounting. Accounting, that will be accounting.1x, and that will be default, and start stop group ISE. Yeah, okay, that's all for you. .1x, I'll do .1x system auth control, IP device tracking. So do okay. Let me configure dynamic authorization. That's going to be needed for C of A, change of authorization, AAA, and that'll be server radius, dynamic author, and clients. And my client is going to be my ISE 168.20.198, and I'm going to have server key. It's going to be Cisco, same with my radius key. And that will be all for that. Radius VSA send accounting. No, radius server VSA send accounting. Radius server VSA send authentication. Radius server attributes. Moving in this attribute is going to be 6. So you just have attributes. Oh, sorry, yeah, attribute 6. On for login allocation. Yep, I want that attribute for login. Just server attributes. The next one I'm going to use is 8. There's one more. You can look up what this command does. 25. This is going to be access request, and this is going to be include. That is that. What else? What else? What else? I think that's all I'm going to need. There are several other commands, but for the purpose of this lab, that's what I'm going to need. We'll go to interface it 01. Switch port mode access. It's already configured, but let me just authentication host mode. Multiple domain, that's okay for me. Multiple domain case, that means going to authenticate one host in data VLAN and one host in voice VLAN. In case when you have IP phone connected to your switch ports and you have your PC connected to the back of your IP phone, so it's going to allow multiple domain. That means one is going to allow one endpoint in data VLAN and one endpoint in voice VLAN. But in case if you're having up connected, this option is not going to work for you. So that's authentication order. I'm going to say .1x and maybe map if .1x fails. Authentication priority. My priority is going to be .1x and maybe followed by map. Oh, sorry. Authentication priority .1x and followed by map. And authentication port control. Without this command, the port will never work for .1x. To never do any .1x enforcement. So you need this command authentication port control auto, and I'm going to say .1x pi authenticator. You can see map, so the port can work for map also. And spanning tree port fast. So let me check what I have shown on interface 01. Okay, I think that will be all. And I feel to do something. Okay, before I do that, let me leave it here. Okay, that's all. Now let me go to my host. This host, I have it already opened. Okay. How do I send control delete? Let's see if I can send control delete to this guy. Okay, send control delete. And okay, I will log in using user 1. I think I hope I remember the password. Okay. Okay, let me do this. Not to waste time. Let me go to my Windows server. Oh, man. Let me log in to my Active Directory. Let me look up my user. Active Directory, users and computers. Users. Okay, do I have user 1? Okay, I have user 1. Let me just do this. Oh, I think I know what the problem is. Oh, I know what the problem is. Because this user, I just added this machine to the domain and the user has never logged into the machine since I added to the domain. So the machine needs to communicate with the domain to verify the user identity. And on this port, I have already put my .1x whatever there, so it won't allow the user to get the endpoint to get across to the Active Directory as at now. So what I'll do is I'll remove this authentication, no authentication port control 2. So with this short, no short, this PC should be fine now. Okay, it's not even giving me the error that I can't get in touch with the Active Directory. Switch user. User 2. Okay, this works. Okay, fine. User 2 work. So although actually I also need to do that so that I can, because right now it's communicating with the Active Directory to authenticate that user. The user has never logged in, so it has no information about the user. So if I don't remove the port control 2, I won't have that communication. So short. So agree. So fine, let me check my ISE. Do I have any traction? Anything happening? Live logs? Okay, nothing happening for now. Oh yeah, that's true. Still need to do the services. Let me enable .1x. Wired auto config. Oh man, I need to run services as an admin because I've integrated the system to the domain. Run as administrator. Okay, is that user part of admin? Maybe. Wired auto config. Oh no, still can't. Okay, let me do this. Let me switch user. Let me just log off. So another user. Let me log in with an admin credential. Why is it taking forever? So commit of 801, no authentication port control auto. Remove that. Let me bounce the ports. So I've disabled .1x on the ports. Okay, fine. Because this is the first time this admin is also logging into it, so it needs to communicate with the Active Directory. And with my .1x configuration enabled, it won't, because I don't have access yet. So I'll do services, wired to config, wired to config. I'm going to put it on automatic. So if it's on, I don't just want to start, yeah, automatic, yeah. It's better I put on automatic. I don't want it to be on manual. So if it's on automatic, whenever you restart your system shut down, .1 picks up automatically. You don't need to come back here again. So I've enabled my .1x. So now I'm going to come to my LAN adapter, carrier connection properties. Now you can see this. If you've not enabled .1x services, you won't see this tab. But now I can see this tab. I'll see don't validate server certificate. Don't do that now. Automatically use my Windows logon name and password. That's fine. So this is going to be additional settings. Let me specify authentication mode. Right now, I'm going to show us this, but I'm going to use user computer authentication. Fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. So interface it 01. Authentication port control auto. Let me bounce the port. For some time, bouncing the port didn't work for this virtual thing. We need to disable the adapter. Let me disable and let me enable it back. Okay, attempted to authenticate, identifying. We have any authentication? Oh, fine, excellent. You can see the user has been authenticated. You can see from my eyes. Let me try and expand this. Refresh every 5 seconds. You can see tech-wise, this is my login name. It's admin credential actually. Oh, that's fine. Tech-wise, and you can see .1x, that's the authentication policy I configured. This is the authorization policy that I configured, and this is the authorization result, permit access. This is the IP address of the PC, and the PC is connected to this switch. Connected to this switch on port Ethernet 01. So, hooray! We have our user authenticated, so now I can have access to the network. Now I can ping. Let me do this. CMD ping 192.168.20. Let me ping my gateway. Can ping my gateway. I can ping my Active Directory. You can see that. Now I'm going to do something. Let me log off. I'm going to log off this user. So let me go to my Active Directory. I want to log in with an account that is not member, with an account that is not an admin account. So I need to confirm that. Okay, let me use this user too. So I know the password to that. Member of is just a member of domain user. It doesn't belong to the admin account, so that's fine. So right now it failed over to MAB. Okay, don't worry, we are going to take care of that. Just want to show something. In order for us, you can see, because by the time I logged off, this is where I am. Now it shows the machine name and the username because I logged off. I'm at log off or login stage. That's the stage I am here. So that's why we get to this. You can see host mgmt pc1. That's the machine name. Because at this point, it's not going to show the username. And now I'm not eating any policy. So I'm eating a kind of deny policy, deny access. That's why I now fail over, because I'm eating deny policy. Because the only policy I have here is if you are a member of administrators group in the domain. And here I've logged off. I'm not a member of administrator group anymore. So that's why we have this deny access. So, and once the access is denied, it fail over to map to MAB because it has failed .1x. That's why we are having this. And based on the policy I configured, I'll need to edit my application. Default basic authenticated access, permit access. Where do we have this? Is eating the default policy. Let me go back here. So when you are doing the deployment in a kind of real life scenario, these are the things you need to take care of, is eating this policy, which is default. And here inside this policy, it's eating this rule, this authorization policy, basic authenticated access, which gives it permit access. That's what we have here. So these are you also read whatever you're having on your live log. Live log from default, the authentication policy is default and the policy is map. The authorization policy is under default and basic authenticated access. So you can see from here, from the authentication, you can see its map, MAB or .1s. So I'm going to disable this. I'm going to disable this. So that default, if you are not using it, it's better you just disable it. I'm going to disable all this. I will only leave the default, which is deny access. I'm going to disable all this. Disable, disable, disable. And I'm going to save. So that's being done. These policy sets will not serve anybody again. I mean, this default policy set is not going to serve anybody again. So let me see if I bounce the port. Interface, it's okay, 01. Even though it's not serving anybody, I still need to do something here. Let me open up this authorization. We had another authorization here. I can see duplicate above. Machine authentication, because that stage is machine authentication stage. So I can see if it's a member. Let me come here, external identity sources. Let me add one more group. There are two ways in which I can achieve what I want to achieve now, but let me do this. Set from Active Directory, computers. Okay. Oh, I didn't save that. What? Select group from Active Directory. Oh, I didn't check. Computers. Because every PC that is added to the Active Directory by default is going to be added to domain computers. So I'm going to click OK. I'm going to click on Save. And I'll come back here. Can see if, let me close this and open it again. Okay, what about that? So I'll click on this. If domain computer use. For now, we use permit access, but in normal production, in this policy, you have to use a dark rule, but we are going to get to that. But for now, we use access, but that's not what we're supposed to use. And I'll move the rule, the policy down. I'll move it beneath this, so I'm going to do it this way. But actually, we are not supposed to permit access. We are supposed to create a dark rule, and that dark rule will give access maybe to domain controller or whatever, even not domain controller, maybe remediation, maybe servers like antivirus server, SCCM server, and the rest like that. So that when system is, for example, user logs up user system and the system is connected to the network, you still want the system to be able to pick antivirus updates. You still want the system to be able to receive maybe SCCM push or whatever. So at this stage, you want to give them access to all those resources that you may want them to have access to, but not to everything. But for now, for the sake of this video, I'm just going to leave it at this. And the reason why I bring it here is because why I bring under admin access, so that, for example, if user logs in, this is what you want them to hit, not this. Because if they log in and this is the first, they will always hit this. If this is on top, if machine authentication is on top, because the machine belongs to domain computer and they will always hit this policy. So they get stuck here and peradventure in a case whereby you've created a dark pool and you've given limited access at this policy, and this policy is the first policy, and that's what they will always eat. They get stuck. They will tell you don't have network access. So it's better it comes up after the normal access. So now what I'm going to do now is this. I will just, since I've done that, let me come back to my Regius live log and let me bounce this port. It's 01 short, no short. Although actually from experience with this virtual machine thing, it may not, I may need to disable the port, because with this virtual machine on Eve, I need to disable and enable the port back. So in that case, what I can do is this. Let me log in. It's taking so long. Wow. Okay, let me just do this. Don't mind, that's one of the things I used to face using this virtual machine on Eve. So I'll just stop this. No, you can't have the same experience like you are using a physical machine connected to a physical switch. So you can't have that same experience, although it's a lab scenario, so it's allowed. So start Windows normally. We come back to just close this second non-domain PC and close this. Starting Windows. It's taking time. Okay. Okay, it's at machine logon. Okay, fine, excellent. This is what I want to see. Now it's at machine logon state. And you can see now, instead of giving us this red which you have the other time, because I've created a policy for it, you can see this is the endpoint ID, this is the machine name with the domain, and you can see it's eating the policy I created for machine authentication. So that's it. So now I'm going to log on. Oh, sorry, that's not what I want to click. So send control delete. I want to log on as another user 2, and I'm going to this the password if I'm right. So let me log on as user 2. So right now I've logged on as user 2, but I'm eating default deny access. Why? I'm eating the default policy set. I'm not eating the .1s policy set which I configured. Why is that? Because if you look here, I'm eating default deny access. And the reason, because I default deny access, it pushed me back to MAB. It fell over to MAB. You can see this user can say, okay, let's take it from here. At login stage, this is it, I'm good. When I log in, let me stop this, refresh, never. Now I logged in here, I'm at login stage, machine authentication is fine, everything fine. And after now, I logged in as user 2. I'm using the normal policy set which I configured, but I hit deny access. Why did I deny access? Because if you look at my policy here, I said this is the policy I'm supposed to hit. And I said if only if you are a member of administrators group and user one is not a member of administrator group. So, and there's no other policy I can hit here than to hit deny. Although it's a domain computer, but it's no longer using machine name for authentication, it's using the username. So, and I didn't pass that. So I hit deny access, and by hitting deny access, I fail over to MAB. And by failing over to MAB, I don't have any policy here that allows MAB. If you look at my policy set is strictly wired 802.1x. So it hits this default policy set. So, and after hitting this default policy set, and that's all, it's deny access that is going to get, because that's the only rule that is enabled there, and it's configured to deny access. So that's why we're having deny access. That's just it. So we can see that's how ISE works. So it's very flexible and it's a very good network access control solution. So now there's another thing we are going to do. So now you can see Windows cannot connect you to the network, blah blah blah. Now let me try and ping. Now let me ping my gateway 168.20.201. I can't ping my gateway. Let me ping my Active Directory. I can't ping my Active Directory because I'm not having network access. That's just it. I'm not having network access. So there's another thing I'm going to show you, but that's going to be in the next part. So I'm going to stop this session now and just make sure you get the next session and continue with me. Thank you.